What's up everybody, Simon here. In this video, we're going to talk about how colleges and universities have killed themselves with the pandemic and post-pandemic, and they are struggling to get students back in. So we're going to go ahead and discuss if college is worth it or not and what's happening in the UC system or the university system. Now, I did make a video, is college worth it? And that video is on my channel. In that video, I also titled it, I believe, College Dropout, but I also had a movie or documentary where people were paying individuals to get their children into college. You should check that video out if you're someone that's looking into colleges, whether they're worth it or not. So this video is going to cover what's happening with the college system. Before I get into this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Let's get into it. Universities are suffering. With the pandemic, the UC system shut down. People were paying $50,000+ a year for online learning, which they hated. The dorms were shut down. The whole thing just collapsed, the university system. And then another thing happened. A lot of drama came out of universities really not teaching kids what they need to be learning, but more indoctrination with political viewpoints and so forth. So the UC system, the college system, has gotten out of hand with parents not liking what's happening, the cost of tuition going through the roof, and also the students not getting any value by not attending school. So now they're struggling to pick up and go back into that system. So now the UCs are struggling to get back to where they were pre-pandemic, where people were battling to get into these universities. So enrollment declines are at an all-time high. In fact, there's many dropouts because it's just simply unaffordable, and the education you're getting may not be worth it for a real job application. There are many colleges now in financial jeopardy, and this is going to be one of the biggest financial collapses in the UC systems. Deep cuts to state funding, the negative outlook on college tuition, the rules of all these pandemics that have come out, and the political brainwashing that is happening inside the universities are what is something that's holding the universities back so much that they're not able to get back to where they were and make a lot of money. I also think people are waking up and realizing that to get out of a university system, a 4-year college, to get out with a $200,000+ in debt potentially is not a good idea. That's like throwing a massive wedding and realizing that you could have spent that money on buying a house. I wish me and my wife did that. High school students all over are rethinking the value of college as an investment, as a return on investment for what they really want to do. Now, the undergraduate enrollment was falling before the pandemic, but the pandemic has sharply increased the undergraduate fall rate. The undergraduate enrollment now is down 9.4% more than it was 2 years ago. That's a loss of nearly 1.4 million students. Now, if you're in college and you dropped out, let me know why in the comments below. If you think the university system is messed up, let me know in the comments below as well. Now, there was a forgiveness plan, although it didn't forgive all the student debt. It did help. However, people are realizing that they don't want to carry that debt. Not only is anyone doing anything to improve affordability of colleges, but the cost of college has gone up through the roof. In fact, the cost of college has dramatically increased in the past 40 years, way above inflation and way above what people make in their households. The number of colleges that are closing down has quadrupled in the past 10 years versus the previous decade, and liberal arts colleges especially are closing down more, including some schools in San Francisco. An interesting chart here that's displayed shows that in 1970, a private nonprofit 4-year college would cost a student roughly over $10,000 a year. Today, that's over $40,000. And it's the federal support or the lack thereof that's keeping these costs high, the rising costs of operating such schools. And of course, there's too much competition. When there are thousands of applicants to get into some of the most demanding UC schools, then you're seeing a big demand. With the demand increases the price of tuition because someone will pay for it. So the big question is college worth it again 2 years later since my last video? Well, I don't know anymore. I think if you're there networking, then college is going to be great. If you're going to school to party and drink and really not get anything out of it, then obviously the $200,000+ price tag probably will not do well when you get out, unless you're planning to live with mom and dad for many decades. Now, with that being said, I think if you are in an area that's booming with tech, such as Stanford University, maybe Berkeley, the Wharton School of Business, and some of these really high-end schools that are potentially going to give you a contact or a path towards something you really want to do, then it's important. If you want to be a doctor, obviously you have to go to school. If you want to be a financial investor, it does help being around some of the best investors out there. If you're going to be in tech, you got to learn computer science from some of the best people out here and get a job where you're going to be learning from. So yes and no. If you're going to be an entrepreneur that's going to open up a small business, a business, etc., it's probably not worth it. In fact, when I had my decision to go to a university and I was accepted to USC's Marshall School of Business, almost made it to the Haas School of Business at Berkeley, and I got accepted to Michigan School of Business. I forgot the name of that one. But overall, I did not go because I had my own business. So technically, you don't need it to be successful. You do need it to network. And what I do find that schools do really well is they're going to give you an opportunity to make a massive amount of money if you land in the right position and you network with the correct people. So overall, the cost of schools are going up. If you're going to be going to school, you better plan for it now, or your parents should. My parents did not. That's part of the reason I didn't go. It was a cost versus reward idea, or investment return that I had to decide whether or not was going to be good for me. You have to make that decision for yourself. As an entrepreneur, I don't regret not going to college. And in fact, I know I would have been a different person if I didn't go to college. But if you have the hustle, I would have been a different person if I went to college. But overall, if you have the hustle mentality, it doesn't matter if you go to school or not. It's how hard you work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, subscribe to the channel. It's free. And let me know below, do you think universities or colleges are worth it? Are they overrated? Are they overpriced? And do you see them struggling even more in the future with everything that's gone on in the past few years? Thanks for watching. Check you guys here in the next video.